Welcome back to another SaTARO Day with Salann. Excited to be back in the normal, at least a little bit. But let's roll the intro and get started. All right, so obviously, putting out a normal video again. We're not doing a live SaTARO Day this week, even though I actually kind of enjoyed that. That's been fun. It's nice to be back to what is kind of how I've been doing it a little bit. So I'm happy. We do have internet and electricity back. It was a long 2 weeks, but you get through it. So I'm going to do something very different this week. And it just kind of happened this morning while I was doing my early meditation and kind of grounding and circle casting. I'm going to use a read style, a 3-card draw that I created, and it's guidance. It's truly about guidance and finding pathways. So I do believe that every time you open a deck and you read for yourself or for a general read for a group of people at one time, you're looking for guidance. So each card is going to speak different to each person. And so I decided to use 3 different oracles, one for each card, right? And so what we're going to do is kind of ask the universe, what is it that is going to move me through the next couple of weeks? So my strength to draw on, kind of like my ancestors, right? The map, where am I headed? What is my direction? And then my inspiration, like what is my muse? What is it that's going to help push me through all of this in the mundane and spiritual world? So it's a mix of those questions. And so I will put the questions that correspond to each card up as when we draw them. We're going to draw them and discuss each one independently, and then we'll read them together. So it'll be a 1 card at a time. So it'll be a little bit different, like I said, than other times that we've done this. And I find that this particular read speaks clearly to many people. I've never done it with 3 decks, which I think is pretty cool. So let me go ahead and tell you which decks we're using, because I'm not going to put them all up. It'll take way too long to edit that. But we have the Celtic Astrology Oracle cards. See if I want. They're Luscarabo, but I want to see a name. Antonella Castelli, Dara Fitzrandolph. This is the back of those cards. Like I said, I'll put some up. Then you have the Enchanted Map Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid, who is very prolific. You probably are aware of some of her work. Back of that card. And then the other one that's a little different, that I don't know that I've used much on here, is the Star Codes Astro Oracle, and that's by Heather Roan Robbins. Artwork by Lucas Lua de Souza. So the reason I wanted to do 3 different oracle cards is because when I pull oracle, I like single card draws with oracle because each one is so independent of the rest. It's not like tarot and there's a lot of building and movement between the cards and storylines. For oracle, it's not about the storyline. It's about the first feelings that come up for a card. So I wanted to just pull from these different ones and kind of do that. But I do need to shuffle just a little bit more. And while I do that, one of the things that we did recently is connect back to our Keith and group. And so we had a quick call with a couple of individuals in our inner circle. And it just reminded me how much I rely on just that connection, not necessarily being present with everybody all the time, but that connection that's deeper to a group of people and how important that is as a human being to maintain that. So if you are somebody that's looking for like a coven, or you're looking for the things around you, or looking for people to interact with or engage with, that's something that's going to be very important, because as I have learned, when things are tough, it's not that those people are with you and holding you physically. It's knowing those people are with you and holding you, spiritually and emotionally. And those things are truly invaluable. Sorry, I don't know why I got choked up on that, but it's a realization that I guess, well, I'll say you, that I've had in my life before. And, things cycle in and out. You let them go sometimes, but That is it's just something that, I don't know, it's there. So I want to pull these cards, and I want anybody who's listening to truly think not what I say, but look at the imagery yourself. What do you feel about this? How is this strength drawing for you? And what is this map directing you to do? And what is this inspiration guiding you to do in your life? So we're going to start, excuse me, like I said, with the Celtic astrology. And the question for the Celtic astrology, our single card draw, is, universe, show me what strength do I need to draw on that I have that's going to get me through some of the tougher parts of my life. So our first card is the Elder, also known as Seeker. And I shouldn't say the Elder, it's Elder because the tree. So first thing that I think of when we're talking about my strength to draw on with Elder is elderberry, right? And utilization. Now, Elder in lore is probably, and we say probably because it's not written, but is probably a high respected spirit or god/goddess in Celtic and other mythologies. But during Christian times, as many things were, it became very fear-ridden. It was said that if you burn elder wood, you could possibly see the devil. It also said that the crucifix was made out of elder, which I think is probably part of where that came from. And it is also, you couldn't even break a twig. And if you did need to use elder, you had to ask the lady or the girl of that entity, of that tree, and get permission and offer something in return, such as giving wood back when you're dead and gone and you yourself have become part of the earth and back into a tree. So the strength to draw on when it comes to being the elder is the short but strong wood. It is the fruit, the berry, useful in many different things, and drinks and meads and berries and jams and nourishment. The edible flowers, which have a distinct taste. Now, elder is a summer tree, but in representation in this particular deck, it represents winter. And part of that reason is it cycles quite a bit as well. So you have this very wild, beautiful white flower in the summer, and then in the autumn you get the berries, and you get this beautiful rusty and peach-colored leaf. It is a very, very, very respected tree. It is a very magical tree. And so my strength to draw on is going to be strong magic. It's going to be strong learning and understanding of the things that are going on and happening around me. So I think my strength that I will utilize, in the way that I could potentially utilize this, is making things with elder tree berries. Infusing them into the things that I do, but also calling upon magically the Mother Earth and the feminine aspect of Earth that I don't as often hold or pull into my magic. So that's the message from my strength to draw in, and from the elder is draw in your strength. Things are not always as they look. Allow the feminine energies to become part of you, and don't fear them. They are important to your success and to your growth. Any tree is good to draw on when it comes to strength, right? Because they all have their individual properties. But unlike, like they call the mighty oak, right? These big, huge oak trees that have grown really super tall. Our oak tree fell down during the hurricane. I'm just saying, at this point, to get this return to a tree that's more like a bush, like the elder is, it's a shorter tree, like I said, shorter trunks, a very bushy tree. And it is basically kind of an impact or an instruction, I think, from universe to utilize the strength of something different, of not just strength in size, but strength in usefulness and resourcefulness. So my strength to draw on will be the elder, and that is from the Celtic Astrology Oracle. Now, map. So this is the Enchanted Map, and this is a beautiful deck that I've used and I really enjoy. And my question to the map is, visually and in earth, in mundane world, what do I need to see to direct me? And the card that I picked up was Spirit of Place. So Spirit of Place, this is a very interesting card. It's the number 4 card, which is important in this. 4 corners, solidarity, evenness, structure. So if I'm looking at Spirit of Place as a map direction or a road, that means know where you are, know where you were, and know where you're going, insofar as things that are functional and useful to you. So the map, the enchanted map, is telling me to, and us as a read, to look at where we are and what we're doing and make sure that that pathway is functional and appropriate for us. Nobody can tell us what that is. And when I say know where you're going, it doesn't mean know the destination. It just means before you place your left foot next on the dark path, make sure there's something there to stand on, right? So enchanted map is obviously mapping, and that's where the question comes from. So how is that directing us? How does the Spirit of Place direct us? It lets us breathe in what's around us, right? It lets us know the earth and the world as it is, or as we have experienced it, which would be, that's the past part, as it is the current part, and as it will be the future. So Spirit of Place is, what is it that you see, feel, hear, understand, physically, spiritually, mentally, in all of those cases. It's an environment, but it's more than just a physical environment. Spirit of Place is taking in all of the things. This is the combination of all elements plus earth as the base, right? Your Spirit of Place. That place can be where I'm sitting right now. Like, is this environment the way I need it? Is it conducive to what it is I am trying to do? I can tell you, no, it's not. I'm having difficulties today. After the hurricane and everything that's happened, I'm having some significant difficulties regrouping. And Spirit of Place is clearly reminding me right now, as in a read, that I need to make sure that I have Spirit of Place, that the things that I smell, see, hear, feel, or intuit, or even reach out to spiritually in my environment need to be conducive to what it is that I'm trying to do or where my next step is. So if I want map to direct me, it's telling me to slow down and take in the environment and then act upon it and make it the way that I need it. So Spirit of Place, it's a beautiful card, and it's a beautiful reminder that no matter how uncomfortable or how different or how much you have gone through, that you can always take a moment, listen, breathe in, smell what's around you, touch surfaces, touch trees, touch the walls, listen to the things that are happening, all of those things that you need to do that will be helpful to you in a pathway. So that is a absolutely beautiful card. That's the first one. And then our final, Star Codes Astro. This deck is, where am I going to find the inspiration to guide? Mars. All right. So that's an interesting one. So Mars is all about action. We talk about Mars being the warrior planet, right? So the representation is warring. It is true, blunt strength and force. But when coupled with what it is we're trying to do, or the inspiration to guide me, I feel like I'm getting a message of, be more aggressive. I'm kidding. Be more aggressive with stating and following through the feelings and thoughts that you have. And I've been doing that. Like, that's something that's been important to me lately. Some of you may have heard it. Like, I am being very good about setting my limits. Now, I may be getting a little frustrated when I reach them, but I am stating them, where before I would not. And those boundaries, and I hate using that, it's so cliche, but setting those boundaries isn't passive. You don't passively set boundaries. They are active, they are motionful, they are things that are physically, like, you have to do them, and you have to be able to do them at the time something occurs, because setting a boundary ahead of time doesn't always work. Sometimes you don't even know where the boundary is until you're in the experience, right? So Mars as an inspiration is choosing to act upon and create motion upon life, upon spirit. So it's not just, be more magical. For example, it's make action and do things that set in motion ways to become more magical. Or if I want to do and open the business that Rook and I are talking about, I need to do actions that are going to lead me there. So if I use Mars as inspiration, the warrior trains hard. The warrior is intelligent. The warrior is prepared. The warrior has the right tools. The warrior has an aggression to go out and actively, offensively protect and defensively protect. So that is the inspiration that I will need to pull on. So since today's read was out of 3 completely different decks, I'm not going to do like kind of a grouping together, you know what I mean? Because these are independent reads for each of them. So my advice out of this read is if you want to draw on strength for the next week, you're going to want to think elder. You're going to want to think small, compact, but powerful, useful, and resourceful. So I need to be those things and emulate those things, right? For my map, where do I go next? Or how do I find out where to go next? Spirit of place. Pause, breathe, smell, hear, listen, taste, and truly allow those senses to pull you in so that you can feel and learn and start seeing spirit of place. That will help you illuminate that left foot, right foot step that you need to make. So your map is directing you in that manner. And then, like I said, Mars, your inspiration to guide you over this next week is going to be Mars energy. This is going to be fight energy. This is going to be action energy. Not mean or unkind, but action energy. Go, do, act. So I hope you enjoyed this read. I know, and I hate, nobody needs to apologize for themselves or things at all. But I am still a little discombobulated here with everything that's been happening. I'm super excited, though, to be back. I'm so excited to try to get some kind of normalcy in things that we do. So hopefully you enjoyed the read. And if you have any questions or recommendations or thoughts, even different decks that you may want to see used on a read, just let me know. And I'll be more than happy to put that up and use that. So again, thank you so much for stopping in. Comment, let me know what the cards mean to you and how they've affected you. And subscribe if you want to see more from us. We'll be getting back into our Eclipsing the Shadow videos. All those will be coming back out. So super excited with that as well. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful Saturday. I hope your next week brings you all things that you want.